Hello and welcome to another game of Supreme Commander, this 1v1 match between Mountain and Tex on Regor Highlands. It's a fairly hilly map, so I'm kind of wondering if Mountain gets a buff on hill maps or whether or not his buff just applies to mountain maps. But either way, we have two very competitive players with each other. They're very closely rated. I think Tex is only about 2 ranks above Mountain in the leaderboard. From the time I'm checking. Phobo spam is cheap, well, or T1 spam is cheap really, in the sense that it is not very expensive. But there it is, we've got Sarah versus Sarah, so that's not a matchup that's commonly seen really. It's usually Cybran has been the mainstay, and to see Sarah versus Sarah is definitely unusual. One of the players, Mountain's saying that he goes random, which definitely explains part of that. We go in a very ordinary hydro rush build on the north, and yeah, going to power P-Gen first for Tex in the south, so he might be planning to go for a little bit more aggressive air build than what Mountain might be planning. Either which way, their first early builds is always very telling in terms of what their plans will be, and here come the P-Gens. All the P-Gens. Gotta get a lot of P-Gens up before you can really start playing with that second air factory, or the first air factory really, the first air factory being the second factory overall. And the T1 spam from Tex is going to be real. He's got it all lined up. Mountain should do similarly, although he just hasn't queued it up yet. But on this map you definitely do have a lot of T1 spam. There is a lot of mass distributed all over the map. There are a few fair bits of reclaim spots. Notably, here's one, 243 mass over there. There's another one over here, and yeah, just a bunch of reclaims scattered all over the map. But you really want to secure the mass extractor points. You also have these little mass extractors in the corners, and the best way to deal with these is to land an engineer and one T1 RD, and let the RD clear this out and put the mass extractors. It's a little bit micro intensive, but it is well worth it in the end. My sound is really soft, so I'm going to turn that up a bit. If you ever struggle with me, again, the sounds, the sound level, right? The struggle is real. Okay, so Texas got his air scout over Mountain first, and the T1 bomber coming out of Mountain first. So the scout, so that bomber is going to be no surprise. It's going to be nullified really quick. Tex should rush an interceptor out. Oh, he's also going to T1 bomber rush. Oh dear. Okay, so this is we've got bomber versus bomber. They might fly over each other, but he's definitely going to want to get interceptors out to counter this bomber. In fact, don't know what Mountain's going to plan to do with this bomber now. He's building interceptors first, so maybe he's going to try and clear and win the airspace before sending the bomber in. Mountain is going to know about Tex's bomber too. So both bombers are going to have absolutely no surprise, which is going to help keep this game a little bit competitive. Mountain keeping his bomber in reserve, and Tex doesn't, and Tex is going to lose his bomber without he shouldn't get any gain for this bomber if the interceptors get there, and they do. Maybe he'll lose an engineer. Nope, that bomber went down. So Mountain sent his bomber. He's got some interceptors for it. He's got more interceptors than what Tex has, but I think the bomber will be okay. I think the bomber will be okay. If Mountain gets his interceptor shooting the interceptor... No! The bomber is not going to be okay. The interceptors definitely dropped the ball on what they were doing. The bomber dropped the ball too, and it didn't go where it was supposed to go. Mountain trying to lure the interceptors into his interceptors by running his bomber towards the enemy interceptors, and that might work. Let's get a few more shots in. Yes, okay, so Mountain's bomber survives. He might kill something, but no, not yet. Oh dear. Mountain's bomber sure is trying. He's a little bomber that is trying, but it just could. He missed again! Mountain, if you're gonna go T1 bomber spam, learn how to bomber. Oh dear. I'm sure he does know how to bomber. I'm sure he can bomber much better than I can. But this bomber sure can't. He might actually do something useful here. Well, that's useful, for sure. Didn't get the kills though. Let's talk about the commanders. The commanders are pretty much mirrored. Texas commander is more into this area than what Mountain's commander is. On this map it is really super important to make sure you get your commanders out and reclaiming the mass on the map as quickly as possible. Mountain's bomber is, well, it's on success points. He's got 2 kills now, so that's finally useful. So a horde of interceptors trying desperately to keep this bomber alive, and they are working. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in a very long time. Yeah, so Tex is definitely losing on the T1 spam, and he's losing hard. He doesn't really have much to stop this T1 spam at all. And yeah, the bomber finally went down. I'm not going to credit the bomber with what's happened here. It was mostly Mountain just building more tier 1 land than what Tex has been able to do. So don't know what Tex is going to plan to do, but he's going to have to hold this off some way, somehow. With transport going up here, so Mountain's letting his skill show by using the micro to make sure he's claiming what mass is available. Tex is neglecting his mass storage, mass extractor over here, but to be fair, he has much bigger issues. Perhaps he can discuss them with his therapist. He probably doesn't have a therapist, I don't know who he is. But he sure does have issues, but they're not of the mental illness variety. They are probably of the being bombed and T1 spammed variety. A little bit of a standoff here, and so I respect this from Mountain because he doesn't want to lose his T1 into Texas T1, and if he does lose the battle here, he basically just gives his opponent all that mass reclaim, which is something he's definitely trying to avoid to do. So he's just he's basically boxing his opponent in, and this is effective. Tex probably doesn't feel this has quite enough to go against us. He's probably overbuilding T1 AA at the moment. This rate here in the south is good. I like that Mountain dropped his engineering to RT up here. That's good, and he's dropping more over here, which is also good. So Mountain just doing everything right. He's definitely in the lead in economic wise. Well, it's not that far ahead actually, but he's about to win KNCs for mass structures and those ones. So this engineer is, hey, okay, this is built, okay, that works, you can do that. Definitely more inefficient, but it will get the job done. So, yeah, okay, Mountain just, hey, more bomber! Maybe this bomber can do better than what the other bomber did. We can only hope. This bomber sure does hope. So, Tex is pushing out with his 2-1 spam. It will probably work. If he pushes forward. He just needs to get the good fighting going, you know. Make sure more field units are shooting than what his enemies are doing. So he's pushing out. He's going to be able to get a bunch of reclaiming engineers. I like the fact that an engineer is already there. He might want to get a few more engineers. This takes too slow. I think it would be much better if he just used the transport. Definitely much more effective. The commander coming down here to reclaim these messes, which is good. The Mountain's still in the lead in economy. He's got a T2 max up. Still on T1. I don't think there's any indication of him going T2, unless this is the fact that he's going T2. There it is. So he is going T2 land, and those Ilshavers are really going to cause trouble if Tex has no counter, and I don't believe he is going to... I fear Tex is going to be surprised by Ilshavers, and I fear he's going to have no answer for them. That might be how this game ends. Mountain's eco is just eclipsing Tex at the moment, so Tex has very few options. He sees the transport, he doesn't kill it. Does he even have to take it down? I don't think he does. He has them, they will try. But where are these guys going? Where are you trying to be? This is a poor plan. But at least you tried, right? At least that's what I'm told. At least you tried. At least in Supreme Commander, trying doesn't always get you a win. Trying sometimes just gets you dead. Because when you play the game of Supreme Commander, someone wins or you both lose. Ha! It depends. If you, in a draw, yeah, no, in a draw, definitely both of you lose because both of you die, and there's no way you can die and claim to have won. At most, one person can win. So these interceptors are making poor life choices, flying over the anti-air. But Mountain has almost complete air superiority. And hey, Texas will equal the Mountain. I suspect Mountain is upgrading some mass extractors, which is going to give him a temporary decrease in mass income. So Texas still in this game, I think. It all depends on these Ilshavers, because these Ilshavers are really going to just plow through all this T1 so bad, badly. Tex might be able to survive with some upgrades on his commander, overcharging the Ilshivers. That's remains to be seen. There is roughly a halfway split across the map. Mountain definitely having more raiding capacity and degrading. Tex has been on the back foot on this game almost entirely. Finally getting these maxes up way before Mountain. But yeah, a complete lull in the game at the moment. This suits Mountain fairly well. Just again, this Ilshiver's walking, moving. That's the second Ilshiver. Might need more than 2. And okay, so Tex is upgrading, going T2. I don't imagine he has seen the Ilshivers, or he will have now. So I'm not sure if that was reactionary or just this is an appropriate time to get T2, and it certainly is an appropriate time to get T2. Hey, a mass gift, that's always nice. So this commander can easily reclaim that to get some extra mass. So you try and reclaim and build up your eco. Tex has 1 T2 max, which it's not terrible. It's 1 fewer than Mountain. So definitely get low. These Ilshivers definitely have a window. So I don't like the fact it's standing still at all. The window is not gonna stay open forever. Not gonna stay open forever at all. So Tex is behind in eco, not a lot. He does get the reclaim. The bells must have been hit off the map. So he's still in this game. This commander looks like he wants to upgrade, or maybe he's just trying to be safe or cowardly, depending on your perspective. He's raiding Zuis. Just causing trouble. Hey, here's the Ultravest coming in, he's gonna shoot some things. This is gonna be exciting. No, he runs away. The Ultravest runs away and killed... How many things did you kill? He killed 4 things, so that's something. Helping the war effort against the evil blue people of Tex. There goes the upgrade. And no upgrade from Texas yet. Hey! I always like efficient uses of bombers, and this is it. Hey, there's some floating bomber skills things going on here where you do magical things to the bombs to try and get more bombs out, which is good. This bomber is not long for this world at all. He can maybe get one more bomber in, and then maybe he needs to just run. No, he dies. So, was that worth it for the bomber? I don't know, maybe. Going in a single column versus a line is not a good win strategy. You're just going to get wrecked. Mountain's such a good concave there in StarCraft talk. You don't really talk about concaves in Supreme Command, they really should, because they really do matter in the micro games. You got forces fighting forces, how many people get to shoot versus the other. There are 5, 6 Ilshivers here. I really don't like this. These guys should be out on the map killing stuff in wrecking phase. They have so much opportunities and options to run and kill things. I'm hoping maybe he's preparing for a drop. Maybe Mountain doesn't know how far ahead he is. I think he's very far ahead. He hasn't won the game yet by any means, but there's still a lot more winning to do with this game. But I definitely feel that he's ahead. These bombers hopefully going to take out some mexes. 1, 2, 3! So using the perfect amount of bombers to kill a mex in one pass. So that's nice, but it's not going to be worth it. Not going to be worth it at all, because this is going to be very easily rebuilt by that T2 engineer and that Tier 1 factory. So 3 bombers to very temporarily take out 1 Tier 1 mex is not a good trade in my opinion. I think Tex needs to make better choices of how to use his bombers. But then again, remember, Tex is a much better player than me. Even so, I don't think these bombs are being cost effective. Gonna get another kill, maybe? Well, yeah. It's just not working. And there's a push coming over here. There's enough swarm here to just charge in and swarm this. But if you let this Ilshiver kite, you're gonna have a bad time. Run, Ilshiver, run. Now's the time to run. It's a target-rich environment. No, you're gonna stand still, take in the face. This is too much even for an Ilshiver. Hopefully he'll kill some things and get some stuff done. So we've got, yeah, I like this. Texas got a low force here, or not really big forces, but a little force on the right hand side. Pushing forward on the map, there's just a concentration of Ilshivers here, which is just too much for Tex to deal with. I hope he scouts it soon. I hope it's not a surprise. I hope to see Tex do magical things. We've got gunships out. I think there's a transport out from Tex here, but this was really slow to get that one. There's some mass up there as well. So these Oshivas from Mountain, I think he's just going to get a critical mass of them and just walk all over Tex. I think Tex has, is that his first? No, he's got 4 Oshivas. Let's count. We have 8 Oshivas. Okay, 8 Oshivas. They're going to walk into PG there, so I'm not quite sure how that plan's going to work out. 8 Oshivas versus 20, so that's not a win proposition for Tex, especially if he's going to lose some running into some PG, although there isn't a PG up yet, which is maybe a poor choice for Mountain, but so be it. Either which way, yeah, this raid's going to come out very, very well. Hopefully he can keep that Oshiva alive. I would like to see that Oshiva survive. If their micro it wouldn't have died, but there's a lot of micro on this map. Now it's 2 Oshivas versus 2 Oshivas, so... Oh, look, there's a gunship right here. Ooh, there's a massive gunships. Tex does have a bunch of AA with all his armies, which is good for the part of the map. But he's just got too much on his plate. I don't think he can have gunships or his Oshivas, and having to deal with them at the same time is just unpleasant. At least he killed the land factor, but there's still so many engineers here. It's going to be so easy to just reclaim and rebuild. It's a shame. I liked, the thought was there. I liked, I basically liked everything about this raid, but it was just too far behind and it was too easy to counter Tex just because Mountain has so much more stuff. Even though Tex is a slightly bit stronger economy now, so maybe if Tex can hold in here, if Tex can just survive in this game, he might still be able to hang in there. Although that might be misleading. If Mountains upgrade in Mexes, that might be a misleading representation of how his economy works. Who's up one here too? Let's just check T2 Mexes here. So Tex has that many, which is about 6. Mountain has same amount of T2 Mexes. Oh no, Tex's eco just dropped a bit for a reason. Oh jeez, but Mountain has so many more units on the map. I think this is too much. I don't know how Texas is going to be able to hold on to this map and keep all his Mexes alive. There appears to be enough T1 AA here, which is great. Even over here there's a lot of T1 AA. So I kind of like what Tex did, or maybe I don't quite like it so much, but basically what he did was he thought like, okay fine, Mountain, you can have air superiority, I will just build AA everywhere. And Mountain is not trading well here at all. All this AA is current, except for this current gunships, and they've really not getting a lot of work done. At all. They go into the main base, but there's not that much anti-air in the main base yet, but I imagine we're about to see some. So yeah, well done Mountain, you managed to kill 1 T1 Max with all those gunships, and you lost so many interceptors, so that didn't seem to work out too well. Maybe try a different plan, because this current plan isn't working very well. We've got this massive Oshivas coming down here. I don't think that'll be enough by itself, but we'll see. We'll see. This section of the map definitely needs some help. Pushing forward here. Choosing to be aggressive, attacking while you're going to attack. Like, yes, that's generally how you want to play. Never give your opponent the initiative, but I'm not sure if this is going to work out. If this force is too puny, and keep moving, right? You get hit by T1 RT, you keep on moving. If this force is too puny, then you're just going to lose it and lose this, so that would be the worst case scenario. I just don't know what to do with all these Oshivas. Tex is going to have to rely on PD, point defense, and he has some up over here, which is great. If Mountain can drop some Oshivas over here, that'd just be terrible for Tex. So yeah, this force is actually doing well. There are enough Oshivas to keep it going. Mountain probably has enough Oshivas to stun me as well, but to kill this. I think we just need to raid this GTFO. You've done the thing that you try to do and get out. You've lost this particular just to a Max, so that's not really much an issue. But you have to worry about how to deal with this. And I think more Oshivas is just the name of the game here. Just build more Oshivas. Mountain doesn't actually have that many interceptors, so if Tex maybe wanted to go for a push to just hurry some, we'll have to spam some interceptors, get the TT on interceptors, so that's not that hard to do, and then build gunships. That might really be a surprising way. Well, no, Mountains actually counted that already preemptively. So that plan wouldn't even work. And Mountains also pushed on the right hand side with a mobile missile launcher. Just dealing with these T1 nexus up here. And Mountains just got double the eco of Tex. So while all this was going on, Mountains still ecoing in the back. And I think Tex's days here are well and truly numbered. I like the way Mountain played. He had an early lead, he did well, he played well. He had his T1 spam, he secured the map. He put in the effort, he microed and claimed these vectors up over here, claimed the map. And he's just... When you're ahead, stay ahead, right? You can't go for the snipes in this game, they cannot work and you can lose the game, or rather, you can lose your winning position. He played really he didn't play super conservatively, but he never gave up his lead. He never gave Tex a real opportunity to come back into the game. Although when was he already out of the game? But he's certainly out of the game now. Just a consistent chain of good decisions or good interactions from Mountain, just slowly putting him ahead and just constantly upgrading his economy, building more Ilshivers, having gunships, having air superiority, and less Tex's little heart. He continues to raid, and it's working, right? He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's taking out his 2-2 maxes, which is that's a big win, but I don't think it's nearly enough. You really want to get that. It would be a shame if they kill that. Yeah, go kill that. Do we have any T3 maxes after the map yet? No, yet. Still all T2, but I think this is the end. Maybe Tex can hold on here, but I don't think so. If he does, this is a lot of mass, right? Will it be enough to keep him in the game for a little bit longer? Maybe for a little bit longer, but not forever. So Mountain losing that, and not really hurt his eco at all. Ooh, that nearly went down, but it didn't. So there's a lot of mass here that Tex can claim. He didn't really do much of a good job reclaiming mass around his map. You can definitely see that Mountain just reclaimed everything around his section on the map, and there's actually a fair bit of reclaim when Tex is out of the map that he just didn't bother with. It's a shame. So yeah, Mountain's still twice ahead in the eco. He gave Tex a large mass gift, but I don't think it's enough. I think at this point Tex needs to go for a snipe. Otherwise, I think it's definitely at the time where he needs to consider going for a snipe. I don't really see how he can win this game in conventional style, or rather he needs to try something really, really aggressive. Something. That's a descriptive description of what he should do. He should do a thing, and he should do a thing. But which thing should he do? He's building T2P gen, and he's building... He's got enough T2PD here to really hold all this off. Mountain can just easily eco in the back of this. He can just ignore Tex and just eco harder, and then come up with Othams, or he could even build a chicken if he wanted. Hey! What's this? This is an Otham! When did Tex do that? Well, Mountain's doing that too, so they did that around at the same time. Othams are very easily overchargeable by a commander, so having 1 or 2 is not a good idea. You definitely have enough. You have to have enough to be able to kill a commander if he wants to come out and play, which is more than 1. How many is it? I'm not so sure. It depends how many support units there are, and a drop of Othams. So this is gonna hurt wherever this goes if it lands, and it should land. Because Tex really hasn't given any thought to, or not, I wouldn't say he hasn't given any thought, but he hasn't really contested air superiority much at all. If I was doing this drop, where would I drop? I would drop over here. I would definitely drop over here. Back of the base would be good, might be good too. Not really any PD here, which is interesting. And sniper bots. Okay, so Tex has sighted that dropship dropping over here. So, okay, not an actual drop, just for mobility, trying to move units more around the map. Is Mountain just toying with his prey at this point? Is he just playing? Like, how shall I kill you today? You're a worthy opponent, but it is the end. I shall build all the units of all different varieties and try all the different possible options. And I'll slowly constrain you until I can finally kill you. This is my impression of Mountain. something of a lull at the moment. Another thing to be noted is that Texas is remarkably vulnerable to tactical missile snipes. Does he? Okay, he's got a TMD over here. I don't think he has a TMD in his main base, which definitely makes him vulnerable. What can frequently happen is you fend off, you build a TMD, you fend off an attack, but then don't notice that your TMD got destroyed. That's very common. Like, hey, I built a TMD. Yes, you did, but now it is dead, and you don't notice I was dead. That can happen a lot. So where are you going to go? You're going to try and take out these mexes up here. That would be helpful. But oh no, these offenses will block your path. With these PDs, I think that will be enough. Don't do it, Tex. Don't do it. I don't think you have enough. There's a TP land factor, right? So that's definitely what you kill. If you don't, that's survive. But the 4 offense here and all this PD, I don't quite know what's going to turn out. I really just don't have an idea. I think no, I think mine's going to win this for sure. Yep. Oh my, that's a lot of offense. I didn't see this offense. Maybe they got up there just now too. I like the way Martin's using his offense. He just, oh my goodness, he has so many offense. What can Tex do against so many offense? Not much. He can suicide ill-shooters into them one by one, but that will not help him. Bless his little heart, he still tries. He is not giving up at all, and I really respect that. Maybe he still thinks there's a chance. Maybe he has no idea how many offenses there are on the map. I really like the way Martin does this. He's really using his transports as a mobility. Just transporting his offense where they need it. Well, they're being a bit more aggressive now. Where they're going to land? I think those 8 offense can just wreck the space, and I think this is going to be the end of the game, really. And if it isn't, something else will be the end of the game, because there's not much Tex can do here. He is out of options. He probably, or he definitely should have gone for a snipe much earlier. The opportunity for a snipe, I think, is over, because these offense are going to end the game, or ruin any ambition Tex has had of winning. Oh, there's so many explosions. Those engineers trying to reclaim offense? I thought they were taking those. They were trying to help, instead of just reclaiming the wreckage of his former base. That will soon be no more. And to add insult to injury, transporting more troops in. Both of these players are trying really, really hard. Both of them are really putting a lot of effort in this game, and that's always fun to see. Trying to get some point defenses down. There's just too many. If he loses this land factory HQ though, I really don't know what he can do. Texas did a remarkably better job of holding all these offenses than I thought he could have done, but he must know it's over. He won this game at number 6. I kind of felt that I would absolutely agree with Tex at this point. Maybe not quite at minute 6, but Martin definitely was in a much stronger position at minute 6. And but Martin played cautiously, right? He was like, yeah, I'm ahead, and I'm gonna make sure that way. I don't think either of these players played lazily. I think Martin put a lot of effort trying to secure the map, and he certainly wasn't playing lazily. I think he was just being very, very conservative. Just making sure he didn't throw the game. When you build a force and you attack, if you're ahead a little bit, right? If you're ahead a little bit and you attack your enemy and the attack doesn't work, and then you give them your real claim, you can easily go from being a little ahead to being a little behind. And that's not something that you want to do. When you're a little ahead, you want to make sure you put in the effort and to make decisions where you become more little ahead, and then eventually you're a lot ahead, and then you can win the game easily. And I think that's kind of what happened here. Martin was just consistently making sure that he was maintaining ahead. Okay, so thank you for joining me for this game, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye.